Straight ahead on 12 News.
The first runner-up is Deja Mested.
A Maple Grove teen's shining moment. We'll introduce you to Miss Minnesota Teen USA, Hayden Hammond. Plus, it's a Mediterranean diet staple, but see why olive oil could cost you a lot more at the grocery store. But first, peace in a Maple Grove neighborhood shattered.
It has been a long time since anything like this happened.
12 News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. The Maple Grove neighborhood received some unwelcome visitors over Thanksgiving weekend.
Burglars hit 5 homes in the Eagle Lake neighborhood in the past week. And as Delane Cleveland reports, police are urging residents to take several precautions.
We're a very close neighborhood. We do watch out for each other.
Maple Grove's Eagle Lake neighborhood is the kind of place where you can raise a family and walk your dog in the middle of the street. It's why Linda Erie has called the area home for the past 13 years.
It's a small neighborhood, so we do pretty much know who does or doesn't belong. We're kind of off the beaten path, so we do watch out for each other.
Yet despite the close-knit nature of this area, burglars found their way into 5 different homes between November 27th and December 1st.
I feel very sad. This is a neighborhood where we're just family people. We're just normal people, and we really trust our neighbors, we trust ourselves, we trust our families.
Police say that the burglaries happened during all different times of the day, and in each case, none of the residents were home.
In 4 of the 5, forced entry was made into the residence through either a front or rear door.
Police say they don't have any suspects, but Maple Grove Captain Dan Wills wants people to be on the lookout for solicitors and make sure they have a permit to ensure the business is legitimate.
There have been burglaries like that in the past where somebody will act like they're a solicitor or somebody else in the neighborhood, knock on the door. If nobody answers, they'll make forced entry into the residence.
Meanwhile, during this holiday season when people travel to visit loved ones, police urge residents to make sure their homes look occupied if they're gone. Linda Erie is doing just that.
A lot of us have our lights on all the time.
Since the burglaries, she and others in the neighborhood are on guard.
It has been a long time since anything like this happened, so it made us all a little more hyper-vigilant, I believe.
In Maple Grove, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
And police say that if you're not going to be at home, have your driveway shoveled, make sure mail and packages are picked up, and set your lights to a timer to create the appearance that your home is occupied. A Plymouth woman was killed when her car crossed the center line and collided head-on with a UPS truck on Tuesday night. Medina police say the crash happened on Highway 12, about a mile east of Maple Plain. The woman was identified as 24-year-old Jamie Lee Whipperman. The truck driver had minor injuries.
After 2 big water main breaks in just over a year, the cities of Crystal, New Hope, and Golden Valley are hiring a consultant to come up with a permanent fix. The 3 cities make up the Joint Water Commission, which pipes water in from Minneapolis. They met today in Golden Valley. The water pipe they share broke in June of last year, opening up a big sinkhole in Robbinsdale. Then, 15 months later, it broke again in Robbinsdale. The Joint Water Commission endorsed the engineering firm Bolton & Mink to analyze repair options.
The Bloomington City Council interviewed 3 finalists for city manager on Tuesday, including Brooklyn Park City Manager Jamie Verbrugge. Bloomington is expected to decide on Saturday who will get the job. Verbrugge is in the running along with the Deputy City Coordinator of Minneapolis and the Deputy County Manager of Ramsey County. One Bloomington Council member says it will be a difficult decision because they are all strong candidates. Verbrugge has been with Brooklyn Park since 2008.
Plans are emerging quickly for a new apartment project in Golden Valley. On Tuesday night, the City Council approved land use changes to allow for a high-density development at the southeast corner of Winnetka Avenue and Medicine Lake Road. The project would require the purchase of 4 properties, including the Golden Valley VFW. Mayor Shep Harris says he's excited to see a developer's plan for the area. With 4,000 more residents projected to move to Golden Valley over the next 20 to 30 years, the mayor says there needs to be places for them.
Robbinsdale has approved changes to its liquor regulations to allow for a proposed tap room. The Wicked Wart Brewery would be housed in the vacant TCF Bank building on West Broadway. On Tuesday night, the City Council worked on a number of necessary changes to zoning and liquor regulations. The rules include hours of operation and how many barrels of beer they can produce. The tap room wouldn't serve food. Instead, they would encourage customers to take out at nearby restaurants. The developer hopes to open by next spring. Hayden Hammond is proof that hard work and perseverance does pay off.
The Maple Grove teen recently won the Miss Minnesota Teen USA pageant, and as Eric Nelson found out, it was a dream come true for Hammond.
The new Miss Minnesota Teen USA 2015 is Hayden Hammond.
For Hayden Hammond, it was a crowning achievement.
When it first happened, everything literally stopped and went into slow motion.
Winning last week's Miss Minnesota Teen USA pageant
It was like a movie.
was a pinnacle moment for this Maple Grove resident.
I wake up and I see the crown and sash and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is real.
There were 64 contestants,
So this is the trophy.
and the humble Hammond shined brightest.
Literally every girl in that pageant is just stunning, both inside and out.
Winning definitely caught her by surprise.
You're comparing yourself to these beautiful women who have everything going for them and thinking, how could I ever come out with the crown, you know?
Hammond put in countless hours preparing for the pageant.
You put in months of hard work and dedication, and it truly is a blood, sweat, and tears thing. Not a lot of people would think that.
She had a laser focus, especially when it came to fitness and nutrition. Once the pageant was over, Hammond couldn't wait to eat some junk food.
And I'm a huge foodie. So the first thing I grabbed was a donut. I mean, I was thinking about it for 2 months at that point.
Winning now means Hammond has a forum.
When they put the crown on my head, I just thought of all the different things that I could do with it this year.
Her goal is to bring awareness to sex trafficking.
That is a serious goal of mine, to help those children not be looked at as criminals, but as victims.
Hammond also would like to meet the famous guy she now works for.
I have no idea what I would do if I met Donald Trump. Like, it's crazy to think that that's my boss.
In Maple Grove, I'm Eric Nelson, Channel 12 News.
Hammond will soon get ready for the Miss Teen USA pageant, and that will be in early 2015. And Mike, that's always nationally televised, so we'll get to cheer her on.
Yeah, good for her.
Good luck. Coming up next, everything you want to know about ham, including some money-saving tips to bring home the bacon.
And then later in sports, rivals Osseo and Park Center go head-to-head in boys basketball.
But first, a warm-up approaches. Thursday will feel less chilly, and Friday you can celebrate with this. Temperatures rise into the 30s. If you have been to the gas pump lately, you know that oil prices have dropped.
And if you have been to the grocery store, you may have noticed olive oil prices going up. Olive oil prices have risen 3 to 8% in supermarkets. However, olive oil specific stores such as the Oilery in Maple Grove have not yet been affected. Major olive oil producing countries in Europe have experienced drought and other setbacks, including olive flies that can destroy the crop. So far, the Oilery has not been forced to raise prices.
Us being a specialty store, we buy directly from a producer in Italy, so we don't have that middleman and we're not going through the marketplace that way. So I'm not expecting our oil prices to go up a lot on that. We haven't seen any increases.
Olive oil is produced in 7 U.S. states, but accounts for just 2% of all olive oil sales. Americans bought more than 300 billion pounds of ham during the holiday season last year.
That's a lot of ham, but this
is.
year, drought and disease have hit pork producers hard, and you can expect that to be reflected in the price tag of your holiday ham. There are a few ways to trim the cost, of course, and we look at those in today's Money Savers.
Crazy time for everybody, actually, retailers. We've been thinking about this for probably 2 months, 3 months now.
The cases are stocked and ready at Brothers Meat and Seafood in Maple Grove.
We handled the traditional bone-in ham.
With ham, of course, being a holiday favorite.
There's quite a few different ways to buy ham.
If you want to save the most money, co-owner Joe Hoagland says you can go boneless.
Boneless hams that are more of a pressed ham, they're a little bit cheaper. But one thing to be aware of is the fact that they do have water added. Some more than others, and you can kind of go by pricing as far as what has more water.
Adding water doesn't change the flavor, but it can change the price.
If you lift them up and they're sagging at the bottom or whatever, and there's water in there, you know it's pretty heavily pumped with water.
If you want the most meat for your money, Joel says go right down the middle.
Stay as much to a half of a ham rather than a ham portion, just because most of your meat is right in the middle.
Pocket Your Dollars author Carrie Hasha tells her readers in order to save the most money, skip the butt cut and go for the shank.
The butt is often more expensive and folks buy it because it has a reputation for being meatier because there's less bone. But it's also fattier. And I've personally found that I actually prefer the shank, which is usually 20 to 30 cents a pound cheaper, but because it has less fat, and I don't mind the big bone because I can make broth and soup with it several days later.
When looking for the best price, read the fine print on any ad.
Grocery stores who have higher everyday prices, they will offer the lowest sale price on items like ham. It's their loss leader to get you in the door. But often those sorts of deep discounts require you to purchase a certain amount of groceries, of other things in your cart.
And finally, save by skipping the spiral cut and cutting your own.
Make your slices all the way through and then just take an electric knife and just peel it off and you got a really nice piece.
Expect the traditional 7-pound ham to be the most expensive. They are the most in demand and the lowest in supply. But there is good news in the middle of all this. The cost of bacon and other pig parts are expected to go down. So, Mike, at your house, instead of putting a ham out, if you put a big plate of bacon, would people like that?
I don't think it would go over that well, but I like this thought that the price is going down.
There you go. Some good news in there. Still ahead, a Santa sighting in Robbinsdale.
But first in sports, a matchup of unbeaten teams in girls hockey as Maple Grove takes on Champlin Park. Jay Wilcox with that and more when we come back. Jay Wilcox now with sports. 2 hockey teams, no losses, and then they meet each other. So it's got to be a good game.
Yeah, something has to give there, right? And definitely a good contest and a good season for both these teams so far. It has been a great start to the season for the Maple Grove and Champlin Park girls hockey teams. Maple Grove was 6-0 and Champlin Park 5-0-1 coming into their matchup at the Ice Forum. Scoreless in the second on a Maple Grove power play. The pass comes across to Lauren Kaufman and she buries it. The Crimson go up 1-0. After another Maple Grove goal, they can't hold the zone. Kaylee Martinson kicks it onto her stick, then unleashes a high slap shot that rattles in. Nice goal for Martinson. Champlin Park's within 2-1 through 2 periods. Maple Grove does a nice job cycling here. Clara McLean to Abby Larson. Back to McLean for the wicked wrist shot on the stick side. It's 3-1 Crimson, 1:20 into the third. A bad carom costs Champlin Park as the pass banks right to Larson. Her shot stopped, but McLean jabs the rebound in as the Crimson improved to 7-0 with a 4-1 win over the Rebels. Maple Grove hosts Irondale on Thursday. Wayzata's girls have also played well to start this season. The Trojans face Cretin-Derham Hall at Plymouth Ice Center. A turnover leaves Wayzata with a close-in chance, but Maddie Wolzman is denied by Raiders goalie Emma May, and it's 0-0 after 1. Early in the second, the pass out front is deflected. Wayzata jams away at it, and on the far post, Wolzman is there to nudge it over the goal line. That's just 25 seconds into the period. The Raiders answer with a 2-0 breakaway. Anna Klein to Anna Beckers for the goal, and it's 1-1 through 2. Same score in overtime. Josie Guernsey stops and fires, but her shot is off the pipe for Cretin-Derham Hall. Taylor Nelson gets a chance for the Trojans, but May and Wayzata's Sarah Stelter are the stars in goal in this one as it ends in a 1-1 tie. Osseo was in the state boys basketball tournament last season, and Park Center made it 2 years ago. The Orioles and Pirates are young this season, though, and each lost its season opener. The District 279 rivals look to rebound as they met at Park Center. Amani Hooker's a one-man press break for the Pirates as he dribbles through the Orioles defense and gets into the lane to score. He has 15 in the game. It's 5-5 early. Osseo builds a lead, though, as Christopher Hervey hands off to J.J. Svack, and the lefty buries the jumper. That makes it 18-13 Orioles. Cameron Betty spins away from the defender and swoops in for the layup for Osseo. They lead it by 7, 31-24 at the half. Park Center keeps it close early in the second half. Oliver Sadu knocks down a 3 from the left wing, and it stays a 7-point game. Osseo starts to take over, though. Elliott Kane drives into the lane here, and he hits a leaner plus a foul. It's 42-31 Osseo. Kyle Williams uses his quickness to beat the defender, and he squeezes between 2 more Pirates to score. He's one of 4 Orioles in double figures with 10. And Kane will send it from the baseline to the top of the key, and Hervey hits for 3 of his team-high 13. The Orioles roll to a 72-52 win. Brooklyn Center's boys basketball team took it to neighbor Park Center last week in the season opener for both. How would the Centaurs match up with Tri-Metro Conference King of the Hill, De La Salle? That was the question Tuesday night as BC visited Nicollet Island to face the Islanders. First half, Grand Mar drives and dishes to Joshua Collins for an Islanders hoop. The Centaurs hang around early though. Teddy Clark drives and scores this one for BC. Brooklyn Park native and future Gopher Jarvis Johnson runs the break and gets the hoop and the foul here for De La Salle. Alex Johnson's in the right place at the right time for a buzzer-beating basket, but Brooklyn Center still trails by 14 at halftime. It's all Islanders in the second half. Mars steals the inbound pass and rocks the rim here. And Johnson will zip to the hole for two more for De La Salle. They roll over BC 90-56. Brooklyn Center is at Breck on Thursday. So BC is going to have a good team this year, but that's an awful tough opponent.
Game.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. Up next, a trip to an underwater magical kingdom.
Plus, the Christmas spirit comes alive in Robbinsdale. We'll be right back. Ever want to take a journey under the sea? You can get your chance at Maple Grove Senior High, where you can see the Disney classic, The Little Mermaid Jr. The musical is put on by a local theater group, Front Porch Musical Theater, which gives two lucky actresses the opportunity of playing Ariel, the Little Mermaid.
Oh, I think she's one of those favorite Disney princesses that children love. And we have an amazing Ariel in both of we have two casts we're bringing to the show, Red and Blue, and they're both just amazing actors.
Performances start Thursday night and they run through Sunday. For tickets and showtimes, go to Front Porch Musical Theater's website, fpmtheater.com. And finally, tonight, Santa arrived in Robbinsdale aboard one of his favorite rides, and we're not talking about a sleigh here, but of course, a big red fire truck.
And we leave you with the sights and sounds of the city's Christmas tree lighting celebration. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Up on the south reindeer pond,